wanted to talk about the Montreal Canadiens team defense today. And while it is just preseason, I think it's going to be a fair conversation to have of how are they playing and what do they look like together and what line combinations do they use. I also wanted to talk about injury status in this video as well, because the Montreal Canadiens are dealing with more injuries and it's kind of predictable. Although you could argue that it's not predictable, maybe it's random or it is predictable, blah blah blah. Like, I understand the arguments on both sides, but we're going to be covering that in this video, guys. If you could make sure to hit that subscribe button, it would be so greatly appreciated, and thank you so much to those that are already supporting me as well. It is very, very humbling. The first thing that I wanted to touch on is David Reinbacher. Now, it's funny, there's always two sides or maybe even three sides to every debate or anything that happens in hockey. This is something that I look at as a player issue. Now, I know I'm going to get pushback on this. Well, hold on, Pixel Plus. He got a random shot in the hand, and he can't control that, blah, blah, blah. Marco D'Amico said that, and I fundamentally disagree with his take. Okay, people act like players never get hit in the hand. It's something about this player that consistently gets injured. Other guys get hit in the hand with pucks and they don't break their hand every single time. Like, this guy, at the end of the day, he has issues here, man. He just shows that he cannot stay healthy. And now we have his hand being broken, a broken finger, I believe, and he is out for a month. I just disagree with this. I genuinely think that this guy has an issue with injuries. And here we have the quote from the Montreal Canadiens. Defenseman David Reinbacher, broken metacarpal bone, will be out for 4 weeks, close quote. So I'm sorry. At the end of the day, if you follow this channel and you're Habs fans, I have been an advocate of the Habs at least dangling this player. I mean, they burnt a 5th overall pick on him. The pick itself isn't looking good right now. That is the one, pick that I'm a little bit critical of. I think that generally speaking, they've been really good at rebuilding. They've had a lot of nice pieces. I'm just not a big fan of this player. Now, it's weird, though, to be consistent with this. He hasn't really played a lot, so it's kind of unfair, but I just really don't like this, if he gets injured, he gets hit in the hand, it's not his fault. It's like, at the end of the day, man, if you're a glass man, you're a glass man, okay? Some guys, when something happens, they get injured more likely. The NHL is a physical game, and guys get hit all the time. It doesn't mean that they're going to get injured. And here we have the poll from Habs Fanatics. Are you worried about multiple injuries for Reinbacher? And it's interesting. 272 votes at 83% people saying yes, and I voted yes too. I'm just concerned about this player, man. I just am. I'm just trying to be consistent here. I'm not going to change my take. I really think that he has a talented player, but this many injuries, this young in his career, are just quite concerning. Now, I want to shift gears away from Reinbacher, and we wish him well, and we hope his hand is okay, and I'm sure he'll be back, and maybe it will be positive, but who knows. I wanted to talk about a take that I've had on this channel for a long while. And while I have defended Patrik Laine, and I've defended Demidov, I don't want them to play at 5-on-5 together. That doesn't mean that you can't put them together on the power play. We saw Ivan Demidov, like I said, with a nasty pass to Patrik Laine, just threading it through. The Leafs had no chance of stopping that on the penalty kill. And of course you could put them together on that. I have absolutely no problem with that. Why the heck wouldn't you do that? It's on 5-on-5 that, again, when you have a developing player in your organization, I think you want to put him with players that play the right way, especially a player that is so important and young like Ivan Demidov. I've long said the Montreal Canadiens, and I'm telling you, watch this line when you put it together, Habs fans. Watch this line, because Coach St. Louis will try this at one point, I'm telling you. Ivan Demidov, Nick Suzuki, Bolduc. I think that line will be good. Suzuki is an excellent two-way player. He plays the right way. Bolduc is fine enough in his own zone, and he plays in the guts of the game. I don't want Patrik Laine playing with Ivan Demidov at 5-on-5. And here we have a really interesting quote that I actually agree with. It's a bit of a long one. I don't think Patrik Laine can play with Ivan Demidov at 5-on-5. I don't think so. Patrik Laine needs to be more present at 5-on-5. Damn it. He doesn't touch the puck. He's lost. He doesn't know where to go. On the power play, he scores, but he needs to give us more 5-on-5. We need a 1-2 punch. Davidov is a part of a 1-2 punch, but on the other side, I don't want to harp on this guy, but There is no transition on offense. It's like a 1,200-pound trailer being pulled. We need a left winger who can keep up with the pace. Listen, I talked to guys who skated this summer with Patrick Laine, and they told me it's terrible how slow he is. Gilbert Delorme, a BPM Sports, close quote. I just could not agree more with this take. I'm telling you, Patrick Laine is the player that you can have him in certain situations, and he can be very, very, very valuable for you. But Coach St. Louis needs to be understanding of you gotta put this guy in the right position, if you understand what I mean. Now, to be fair, I actually don't really want Demidov with Kirby Dach as well. I don't mind Kirby Dach at 5-on-5 that much, but I think Ivan Demidov is going to be a really, really important player. For me, when I was watching Ivan Demidov, and again, it's preseason, I get it, but I was seeing some flybys by Ivan Demidov, and I don't want him to get those habits. I really don't want him to get these silly habits where he's starting to fly by guys and leave guys open, because, again, the Habs don't have to have perfect team defense this year, but they have to have at least above average defense. They're going to have to help Montembeault as well. Again, it's preseason. I don't want to harp on it too much. Like, at the end of the day, most regular NHLers don't really care that much about preseason. It's really funny how people will be like, oh, it's the Leafs, like, worst team ever, and the Habs got, it's like, who cares? NHLers, that happens because NHLers don't really care about winning in the preseason, and then you have young players that are like really, really, really excited about making the team, and then once the regular season starts, that changes. Like, for example, with the Leafs last year, you remember the Leafs? Oh, Nick Robertson. I was like, guys, he's not that good. And then he started the season and he was absolutely terrible. Well, not terrible, but he was not nearly as good. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. We have to remember it's preseason. We have to remember, like, the Habs, like the NHLers, the regular NHLers, they just really don't care about preseason. Like, who cares? Like, it literally doesn't matter. But I'm talking about when we go in the regular season. You need to get Ivan Demidov in the right position. And I'm telling you, you might even need to adjust and spread out your offense in 3 lines. You know what I mean? You might have to put Jake Evans on a line. I know he's not the best offensive player, but you have to switch around your lines. I do not like Laine with Demidov. I don't know. I just know that line is going to piss me off all this year. I know I'm going to be watching these guys, Laine, floating around, and it's just like, my God. He is a frustrating player to watch, if you understand what I mean. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to touch on those 2 things. If you can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys, and make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.